Good morning. It says live. Hello, hello, hello. How is everyone this morning? I'll give you guys a little time to come on in the room. Come on in the room. Jesus is my doctor, and he writes out all of my scriptions in my room. How do you do that? Good morning, good morning, good morning. How are you? I'm fine. Hope that you are too. No one's coming. We have 3 on YouTube. Hey Ruth, how you doing, love? Thank you for coming in. I appreciate you. I do. Have 3 watching. Trying to see if anybody else is gonna come on in. What's up, Cindy? One love. How are you ladies doing? Are you doing okay? I'm good. I dare not complain. What does complaining fix? Nothing. But I really don't have any complaints. Like, I'm good. I'm good. I'll be even better. I went to Bath and Body Works yesterday, so I'll be even better if I can go back today and get a refund on my 4 candles that I bought, because that adds up to like $15. I want my $15. I can do something with that $15. So I'm gonna go and what do you call it? See if they honor that. Let me see, y'all. In my room. It's Wisdom Wednesday. Yep, no complaints. Yeah, I'm glad you're doing well. All right. In the words of, I can't think of the guy's name from Dancing Dolls. Let's get it. Let's go. Whoever's here for the replay gang, all good. So today's live, it probably won't be long. Simply because I was looking at this statement by Booker T. Washington that says character is power. And I'm a person that struggles with power. I don't know if that makes sense. Like, I don't have to be in control. I think that we are all wise enough to or should be wise enough to handle ourselves, accordingly. So I don't do a lot of power trips per se. Like, I don't have to be in control. I don't have to run anything. But then I think that power is necessary for self-control. I think that sometimes we take self-control and the ability to have self-control for granted. There are some people who are truly born with areas in their brain that does not allow them to have self-control. Hey, Lady J, thank you for coming in. And being able to control yourself is power. And so when you give over to who you are, and your beliefs, you kind of give your power, your character away. So what is character? When I went to the dictionary, there's so many different things to explain character that they made it almost what do you call it, unnecessarily hard to understand. But is this Auntie Miriam? No, this is Uncle Oxford. He came on through though. He said it's the mental and moral qualities distinctive to an individual. And that's the part that we have to remember. It's distinctive to an individual. It's some similar words that can be used with it is personality, nature, disposition, temperament. Is just a few words that can be used with it. So the quote that we have today, character is power, believe it or not, was written by, or were spoken, I don't know if it was written or spoken by Booker T. Washington, but to this day, no one really knows what he meant when he made that statement. I went looking to see what was his meaning behind it. Cindy says, I'm back to making hats. Awesome. Just here chilling today. My daughter was here for 2 days, so I need to rest today. We went through my mom's stuff together. It was an awesome visit with my daughter. That is awesome. And so, yeah, I see you put it's your personality. So some things that I wrote down is, yes, it's part of who your character is, part of who you are. Absolutely. It's your personality. It's part of who I am. Absolutely. And so I was when I was looking to see what Booker T. Washington meant by the quote, that was when I realized that there's many papers written on what people think he meant, but there's not a true statement about what he meant by saying character is power. But when you think about character, it's your personality, it's part of who you are. A Bible verse that I often think about is Ruth and Boaz, and how Ruth's character preceded her, meaning it went before her. And a lot of times our character people know about our character before they know about us. Either someone has told them, or hey, Muffy's away. Either someone has told them, or someone has or they've just paid attention from a distance, but most times people kind of know your character before they ever like physically meet you. Like a good way to say it is like on YouTube. How we kind of watch people for a while before we drop down into their chat and have a conversation. And so that's kind of like your character going before you. A couple of notes that I jotted down is character is the true essence of individualism. And I agree with that. I think that, and I said that kind of yesterday, in like, we all have our own unique fingerprint. We're all unique individuals, and our character is the same way. Like, the character, for me, my character are the things that I hold close to me. And when I say things, not the material things, but my values, things that help define who I am as a purpose, my boundaries that I create for myself, my moral compass, my um, um, the things I accept and don't accept, the things that I consider right or wrong. For me, like, that's my character. I'm loving. I'm kind. I'm honest, sometimes to a fault. I befriend somewhat easily. Like, those are things that precede me, but I also have a hard drive. So, like, locally, when it comes to me in advocating, if somebody at the school board sees my name on a meeting, an IEP meeting, then, well, I'm sorry, somebody from the school sees my name on an IEP meeting, 9 times out of 10, somebody from administration is going to be at that meeting, which means my character precedes me. And I don't go into IE meetings cutting up or anything like that. I go in with the law, asking for what we're supposed to have, asking for what the child is supposed to have, and trying to come to a conclusion. But 9 times out of 10, that meeting is going to be long, because you can't just give me a cookie cutter IEP for any child. Hey, Chopper. Hey, Miss Pam. Thank y'all for coming in. And so that's kind of character preceding you. Ruth says your character is everything. It speaks, yes, even when you are not speaking. And so I found it strange, like, because to me, this is a powerful quote from Booker T. Washington. Character is power, but we can't find what made him say that, what he was thinking when he said that. There are so many different what do you call it, interpretations, or of why people think he said what he said. But at the end of the day, your character is power. Like, it's something, one, that you can control, because it's consistency. It's who you are, right? And so it's like, that's priceless. But at the same time, it's powerful because it defines you. There was a guy that wrote that he said there are some people that swing with the wind, like, wherever the crowd goes, those people go, instead of just being true to who they are and what they believe in. And so when you do that, you're giving up who you are, your character, your essence of your essence of being, basically, because that's what your character is to me. And so you give that up, which means you give your power up. We all have power for ourselves and within ourselves. Everybody should want that. But too many times people just give it away to be a part of something, give it away to how can I say it? Feel included, rather than loving and appreciating themselves enough to accept who they are. Now, some people's character is they just ain't got good character. They need to probably get around some people with good character. I don't know how to help them with that. But another thing that this person stated was, most people have honestly lost the ability to look within themselves and to decide what they truly believe in. Yes, always stay true to yourself. And I'm gonna read that again because I've been saying this a lot, but it says most people have honestly lost the ability to look within themselves and decide what they truly believe in. And I talked about that yesterday with introspection, like looking within yourself. Like it's so easy to look at, Muffy's way. Self-reflection is key. Absolutely. It is key. It's so easy to look at other people and see their flaws and see where they're failing or slipping, but it's hard to look at ourselves and see where we can make improvement. Example, I can get up at 6 o'clock in the morning. I don't like getting up at 6 o'clock in the morning. However, if I were to consistently get up at 6 o'clock in the morning, and let's say I use that time to pray for somebody else or do something for somebody else, then that starts being a part of my character and who I am. But I don't like being up that early in the morning. Ruth says it's fear of judgment. What's fear of judgment? Tony says example A. You don't like getting up at 6 in the morning either. What's fear? Is it being yourself that causes the fear of judgment? Because shouldn't, or but then I guess that would be a self-esteem thing too, because I was gonna ask, shouldn't power trump fear? Muffy's Way says it takes 28 days to create a new habit. Not being our authentic selves. Okay. Yeah. Fear of judgment. But why is it so important what someone else thinks? Hopefully I'm asking that question right. But why does it matter? Why do we look to anyone other than ourselves for approval? Is that something we're taught? And I have to ask that question because sometimes it's just hard for me to wrap my mind around living my life to appease somebody else. And I guess because as a child and a young adult, I did, trying to appease my father, realizing that, okay, he just got to take me the way I am or not. I'm not going to be the daughter that you want. Not breathing healthy when I'm stressed. Yeah. And then, so then you, at that point, you have to tell yourself to take deep breaths. But why are we so afraid of being judged? Muffy's Way says looking for validation outside of self. Know your worth. Yes, it's imperative. Like when you learn who you are, whose you are, and the ability that you have within yourself, nobody can take it from you. Nobody. Ruth says it shouldn't matter if we don't know who we are. But if we don't know who we are, we look to others to oh, geez, yeah. That's a whole nother topic because that's a whole nother topic. And I say that because there are people who don't know who they are. And even as kids, we look up to other individuals or aspire to be. I know for me, the Cosby Show, like, because I didn't have that, like I aspired to have that. I've got it family wise. I aspired for that. But I don't know. I'm still thinking about it because I know I had to go through my teens and my 20s but when we're in our 30s and 40s and 50s, 60s, still not certain about who we are, then who do you seek for that? I guess that's the question I'm trying to. Muffy's Way says sometimes we lose self trying to. Woo, girl, that's it. Sometimes we lose self trying to hold on to others as well. You just answered my question. Yeah. And being a parent, I know for me, becoming a parent, and man, because I know, like, knowing my worth hasn't been an issue, but knowing purpose had become a struggle because I felt like, and I still feel like my life is not my own. There's actually a song that says, William McDowell's, my life is not my own. To you I belong. I give myself to you. So it's talking about God, right? And so I've always felt like my life isn't mine, like it belongs to God. But at the same time, I have given so much of myself to people that I lost me, like with my children and sowing into the other lives of people and trying to help other people reach their dreams, that I lost sight of my dreams and what I wanted. And even I talked about it, I think last week, but like the trajectory of my dreams have changed because of life and the things that have happened in life. But I never lost my worth. That Muffy, that's deep. Thank y'all for talking through this with me. And so if character is power, which, like I said, power is a word that I'm like, I mean, I like it for the lights and stuff like that, but I don't want to have control over nobody. I don't want to be the president or anything like that. But if character is power and you don't know who you are, or your character isn't one of good reputation, does that mean it doesn't have power? I guess that would be a Booker T. Washington question, because character is power. Either way, looking at it, whether your character is positive or negative, truthfully, it holds power. Power over you for sure. Power over you for sure. So yeah. Hold on. We all want to be connected and feel valuable in the world. If we don't learn that through spiritual relationships, we look for and accept it from anywhere. That I agree with that. Muffy's Way says we are still growing into women we are to become. So, but at what point is it? I know for me, I'm 43. And I do believe that as long as you have breath in your body, you're still learning, you're still growing, you're still like, it's never too late to do anything, right? But I don't think my foundational character will ever change. Does that make sense? Hi, African American Mom Lessons. Hey, Modest Nation. Thank you for coming in. Does that make sense though? Like, I don't think a lot of my character that I had as a child is still my character now. A lot of the things that uh, I held on to morally, um, I'm as a child, I'm still holding onto those now. Good or bad, I think character holds power. Yes. That's why I work to keep integrity, yes, around my character. Actions lining up with words. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. I agree with that. I agree with that. That's crazy though. Like I never thought about character and power together till I saw that quote and I was like, hmm, character is power. And good or bad, it's what you use daily. I'm 41. We are now learning generational wisdom to pass on. Absolutely. Um, yes, I agree with that. Um, so much so, like I find myself repeating some things my grandmama said, understanding some things my grandmother said. I think these last 3 years of my life have definitely been by and by moments for me. And my grandma would always say, "You'll understand by and by." And baby, I've had some by and by moments. So I definitely agree. Um, I definitely agree with that. In the still growing part, because this year I found out so much about myself that I mean, it was a good thing because you know you're peeling back layers to be healthy because you need to be healthy and you need to be whole and you need to be secure in you before you can form any type of real relationship with anyone else. Um and we still evolve, so like being married and still learning about myself, and when I learn something new about myself I share it with my husband because I'm like I just learned this about myself, and then he's like, hey Angels Army, I love you too. um um He'll be like, you know what, that makes sense, you know what I'm saying, and so we're still peeling back layers, but I'm happy that I'm at a place that I can deal with it because some people never deal with it. Like my mom was 57 when she passed. Mom would be like, I ain't trying to go back and deal with and understand. I don't care. But for me, it's like I think dealing with those things, learning about yourself, pulling back the layers, allow you to leave a greater legacy for your kids. Muffy, hopefully we're maturing and learning wisdom. Some people want to stay right. And no. I can't even keep up with my kids in dancing. Some of the dances they do now, I'm like, why? 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 I don't want to be forever children. But I also don't want to lead anybody in the wrong way. You know, like I want to heal the world, help change the world. I don't want to be like I don't want to be part of the problem. I definitely want to be part of the solution. We keep our minds strong because thoughts become actions, and that's real. That is real. That is real. That's real. That's real. I also think that's why it's imperative that we have to go back. What did you say? I think it was Muffy that said it. This is why I think this is imperative. StreamYard just black out. Okay. Yeah, I don't know what that was about. I'm gonna drop the link, but guess what, y'all? It's not even an hour live today. Just want to come in and do a little Wisdom Wednesday. Hey, how are you? Thank you for coming in. Thank you. You look so pretty. I don't even, girl. Now skating for me is a negative. I can do it, but I can't take the chance of falling because I don't have any protection back here. But the dances, yeah, sometimes I'll try and it's like, Then they laughing at me like, Mama, stop. That's not it. Stop. But yeah, Muffy's Way gave us the best self-reflection. Like, we gotta look at self. And then there are things about us that we don't like. Oh, thank you. I hope you come back. Like, this is the stuff that I like to talk about because it helps me in growing. That's what I was about to say. Like, we know the areas of our character that's not the best. Like, I'm not the most timely person. So my friends know to tell me if it's at 7:30 that it's at 7:15. I'm a procrastinator. God help me. Well, I'm working on it. I'm gonna take the back. I'm not a procrastinator. I'm not a procrastinator. I'm not gonna put that. I take it back out the atmosphere. I take it back. Take it back. Because I've lived a stress-filled, overwhelmed life, I'm not sure if I'm a procrastinator. I'm still unpacking some things. So I may not be actually a procrastinator. It may just be that my brain has been trained to just deal with things at the last minute. So I'm trying to, what do they call it? Unlearn that behavior. Hey, Vermont. Bruce, listen. So I was at, your link got dropped in the official D spot chat the other day because I went on his panel just to speak. Really, nobody else hit the link, and I've been a member over there a couple months and never hit the link. And everybody admired the pictures behind me, and so literally I had to tell a story about the pictures. I showed them all off, and they dropped your link. And so hopefully some people came over to see you. They were like so impressed. But I was like, of course, he's great at it. His art speaks to me. But yeah, thank y'all for talking to me today about character and character's power. I think that it's quite interesting that no one knows what Booker T. Washington truly meant by that. All we have is what some people believe, some interpretations, but no real Ruth says, your work is beautiful, Vermont. It is. And he's so humble and he almost don't want to sell his art. And I'm like, Bruce, Lord, child, get the girl name out of there. I'm like, Bruce, I got to figure out how to become an art broker because we need to sell your art. You call him a perp. Voices talk. Voices talk to me. I never listen. I listen to mine. Like, and it's crazy, but I do. I listen to mine. Like the other day when the closet fell, and I was like, when I called my husband, I was like, babe, your dad is trying to tell you something. He was like, what? Don't call me with that, because his dad passed me 15. I was like, well, your closet just fell. And I said, well, was your daddy petty? He was like, no, he wasn't. I was like, oh, well, maybe it's my mama then. And 20 minutes later, his mom's aide comes in, and mom is having a seizure. I was like, see, I told you you're that, because I never, and we've been together, married 10, together 13. I've never said your daddy is, you know what I'm saying? So yeah. I don't know what made me say it, but I was like, if I ever do that again, hey, positive pusher. I was like, if I ever do that again, just go on over and check on mama, because that came out of nowhere. Nowhere. But yeah, y'all, we had a good dialogue in 30 minutes. Don't play with it. Muffy, you just came with all the good stuff. Miss Pam, thank you. Chopper, thank you. I thank all of you. Lady J, if you're on the road, be careful. As you guys can see, I'm trying to get back on schedule. My shirt says, thanks to my husband. See if I can stand up without falling. Not today. But Satan. I love shirts with words that actually mean stuff. But not today, Satan. And that's how I feel. Like, have you? I feel like old boy from Boys in the Hood, Cuba, when he went to the girl house and just started fighting the air. Like, I want him to just start wrestling with the devil right now, but it probably wouldn't look wise. So I'm just gonna have to wrestle with him in warfare and prayer. Amen. Amen. But guys, if we have nothing else to talk about, I'm gonna drop this link one more time. For those of you on YouTube, sorry you can't click the link. You have to come on over here to this good. Facebook. You have to come on over here to this good YouTube to click the link. But on this good YouTube, you're not only able to click the link, but come on up here and co-host with me. Y'all, I know I promised you guys a video of my mom. I don't know. I may not be ready. I don't know. Mine says, not Daisy's daddy. Your Daisy's daddy. The only thing that's kept me from getting a cat is no one can tell me how to keep them out your kitchen. A cat does not. I don't believe any animal belongs in the kitchen. That's just me. My dogs, no, don't step foot in my kitchen. Mm-mm. Yes, you are a fool. Twin, which one? Me or Bruce? For those of you who don't know, this is Tony Damien. My husband says that she and I are twins. Because we think alike, act alike. Joy! I know you probably get tired of me doing it every time you come in. Joy! Hey, love! Joy! Joy! Joy. Is it John Pickey? Oh, he's just Tony. All right, y'all know I give the link 3 times. I'm so happy you came in, Joy. Joy. Most definitely. Real talk. I thank all of you guys for your support, even during some of the most trying times of my life. My tribe is here, and I'm grateful for it. Aw, thank you. Yeah. which makes me think about, I'll give y'all this song and then I'm gonna go. I am grateful for the things that you have done. Yes, I'm grateful for the victories you've won. I could go on and on and on about your word, because I'm grateful, grateful, so grateful just to praise you, Lord. Flowing from my heart are the issues of my heart and its gratefulness. And that's how I feel today. I'm just grateful. Flowing from my heart are the issues of my heart and its gratefulness. My heart is grateful. Like, it could be so much worse, but I'm grateful, 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 grateful. He's safe for sure. I cannot tell. This is why Tony said, where's her comments? Yes, you are a fool because of this. I pray he's safe. If Rona can go through that, y'all are pitiful. If Rona can go through a gas mask, I know something. Flowing from my heart are the issues of my heart and its gratefulness. I'm grateful. So if I had, dang it, I'm going to get in trouble. I'm sorry, y'all. Y'all know I hate to do this. But when you got people rocking with you, you listen to them. Now I hate to talk about what I'm going to talk about because I don't put that on the ticker. Okay, I'm going to let that run a couple of seconds, and then I'm going to talk about what I'm going to talk about. Cindy says, how are you, Joy? Joy! Y'all, every time she comes in, Joy! Hey, Joy! Joy! Joy says, I'm fairly well and being grateful. Hope you're okay too, Cindy. Hey, positive! Girl, I know how it is. Trust me. Okay. Y'all feel like I let that run? I feel like I let that run long enough. I will still get this challenge out. And I'll do it every now and then. So I'm going to challenge you guys for every negative thought we have towards ourselves, since we're talking about character. Write it down. Determine the origin and replace it with a positive thought. Write the positive thought throughout your house. So I'm going to help you. When I was little, I was referred to as Rosemary's baby. Because, of course, my mom had her share of issues, and apparently I was bad. But, I had ADHD, I know. And though it was supposed to be a joke, it hurt. It was like, none of the other kids are referred to this way. Why do you guys refer to me that way? But little did they know whose child I really was. Thank you, Jesus. And when I realized that, I took that, that has no hold over me whatsoever. I'm a child of the King. I'm royalty. I'm a royal priesthood. They didn't understand me because I am a peculiar people. So it works. So that's the challenge. So that we can build our character up to good character. So for every negative thought, and you got some negative thoughts, like I just said, getting up at 6. So if I want to get up at 6, maybe if that's the negative for me, the positive is you get to spend some time alone. You get to process some things. You get to command your day. You get to pray. You get what I'm saying? Like there are things that I could possibly do to change my thought. And it was Muffy's way that says it takes 28 days to change your behavior. I actually think it's 3 weeks, 21 days, if I'm not mistaken, from my psych class. But 28 is good too. And you can change whatever behavior that is. The key, though, in soror pastor Dr. Gina Stewart of Memphis, Tennessee, stated this at the beginning of the pandemic, that the problem is some of us know that there are some things on the inside of us that are dark, things that we didn't bring upon ourselves, things that we didn't cause, but that we don't want to revisit. And so it's hard for us to even sit with ourselves. If it's hard for you to sit with you, write that stuff down so you can figure it out and work it out with you. Because you're like, you're not of any good to anybody else if you don't. And what I mean by that, when I lost my best friend, so like, the latter part of August, having had some losses and trying to be there for friends, and then the losses transitioning to my family, and then a real heavy tragedy happened. Just thinking about those things made me have to take some time for myself. And I'm so grateful that in that time, so we're talking August, really up until I just started coming back every day. Maybe this might be the first week I've done every day. And I'm still grieving. Like, I'm still dealing. Tomorrow is the 3-year anniversary of my mom's passing. I'm everywhere, right? My emotions are everywhere. And then I'm trying to put together a video because I want to honor her tomorrow and show her the world, and talk about the good and the bad, because I've never been a one to say, oh, my mom and I had the best relationship, the best mother and daughter relationship. No, the lady was crazy. She beat me, but we got it together. I'm sorry, that's the wrong thing. I'm trying to pull this off. But we got it together before she left here. God gave us a couple of years to make it right, and I thank God for it. I missed 17 comments. Hold on. Woo. How's your sis, Joy? Gas mask. Hold on. Ooh. I understand positive. Oh heck, I'll need to roll. I'll need a roll of toilet paper. What? I'll need a roll of toilet paper for that much paper. Vermont, no such a thing. No such thing. Don't deal with all of them. Write one down a day. But I wish you wouldn't be so hard on yourself. You're an amazing guy. Like, you really are. Hey, a holy nation, yes. Health is wealth. Come on. You're preaching now, Cindy. Aisha, I feel you, sis. Thank you. I just lost my mom. So just think of all the great things she did. Absolutely. Absolutely. And, the thing is, when you love somebody, you don't want to see them in pain. You don't want to see them hurting. You don't want to see them down. And the cancer is ugly. It's mean. It tries to break you. So I know that my mom was strong. And she, like, I hate that her death certificate even says breast cancer, because it wasn't it. My mama said, I'm not giving up. It's just time for me to go home. You can't argue when the Lord says, come on. And so I'm just grateful that I got to see her in a different light, that we got an opportunity to have that cool dynamic that nobody can take away from us. She said mom left a legacy, though. Yeah, most definitely. And I think sometimes if we looked at life like that, ooh, look how God just did this, y'all. And it's just, I think if we look at life like that, that will, because here's what she said. She said, mom left a legacy, though, and her mom passed as well. We're the legacy. A lot of times it's hard to think about us, and sometimes it's hard to think about the past. But think about your future generations. Think about your not just your children, because we see the children and they kind of go along for the ride with us. But think about your grandchildren. I hear there's this different type of love that people have for their grandchildren. Think about your great-grandchildren. What type of character do you want to leave for them? What type of character do you want to be passed down to them? When it comes to parenting, you can't say, do as I do. I mean, do as I say, not as I do. Like that was the type of parenting that my mom tried to do. But you can't do that. You can't say, do as I say, not as I do. No, children are going to, they watch you. At an early age, you determine what parts of your parents you do like, what parts of your parents you don't like, what parts of your parents you want to do, what parts of your parents you don't want to do. Then later in life, you realize, I probably should have did that like mama did it, because these jokers ain't, you know what I'm saying? So you're figuring it out along the way. But a reference to help your character stay healthy is to think about, what do I want my great-grandchildren to say about me? What do I want my grandchildren to say about me? That's legacy. And so where me and my mama didn't have the best relationship in the world, and we had our differences, when it came to her grandchildren, she got it right. That's her legacy. I'm part of her legacy, but they're her legacy, and they continue it on. You get what I'm saying? So I think if we start thinking like that, some of the stuff we do, say, even think about ourselves, we would stop. Because do you want your daughter to feel that way about herself? Because the thing is, your daughter is watching. Do you want your son to feel that way about himself? Your son is watching. And then guess what? So when your daughter and your son have their children, now your grandchildren are watching them see themselves the way that you saw yourself, because that's how, you get what I'm saying? So it's generational. Be the person that breaks it. Sorry, I need to go. Time to drive through the snowstorm. Be careful, Vermont. Love you. Cindy Randall says, in my opinion, no. I don't know. My mom taught me a lot. I don't know. I know my mom taught me a lot. I know you still, of course, absolutely. Just because we didn't have the best relationship doesn't mean I don't miss my mama. I miss my mama. Like, she still was a huge part of my life. In that last year of her life, I pretty much saw her every day. We got things right. So, well, her gossiping self, I didn't know how much mama gossiped, so I had to sit over there with her 14, 15 hours. That woman she was a gossiper. I said, girl, where you get this from? Who you be talking to like this? Because I just didn't know she was a gossip. My mama didn't look like a gossiping type. Child, I had it all wrong. Joy says, I'll be praying for you, Cindy and Aisha, so you'll have the strength needed to go through the reflections about your loved one. Thank you, Joy. Joy. I promise you every time I see your name. Thank you so much, Positive Pusher. Yes, one love. You're a blessing. You're all a blessing. You only have one chance to raise them. And once they're raised, they're raised. You can't go back and be like, oh my God. The funniest thing ever. So y'all know I say Desi taught me a lot, right? So Desi, when she was diagnosed with autism, Labana is the local children's hospital here. They gave classes once a month for parents of children with autism to help us with behavior, right? And so one of the things that we learned was you don't repeat yourself to a child. You want a child to respond the first time that you say something, not the second time, not the third time, right? So the first time you say it verbally, if they don't respond verbally, you get up, say it again. If they don't do or whatever, you do hand over hand. And then you keep working on it. So the example they gave was they use typical children. They say, have you ever called your typical children's name and they don't come? You call a second time, it's like they don't hear you. A third time, they don't hear you. Fourth time, don't make me come up them stairs or don't make me come in your room, and you may get a ma'am or something. Fifth time, they hear you, and so now they're responding. What has happened is instead of us raising and teaching the child has taught us. And so that child knows I got about 4 times before my mama gonna get up. So I'm gonna wait until she tells me and I'll go the third time or the second time, depending on which time is best, right? And when I learned that process with Desi, I looked at my husband and I was like, child, we didn't raise our kids all wrong. Them first 3, all wrong, because we just didn't know, about that little piece. And when they said that, I was like, dang, that makes sense. Now, don't get me wrong, my kids are yes ma'am, no ma'am people, but it would be about the second or the third time before they. And so, yeah, you only have one chance to raise it. So there was 3 that had already been raised, and we realized we did it wrong. So yeah, and you don't beat yourself up for it. They don't come with books. You do the best you can, send them on their way. And like I tell my kids at 12, 10, whatever, I started telling them things that you do now can affect you for the rest of your life. I need them to know that, and that's from the trauma of having a friend who killed someone at the age of 12 and he's doing life in prison still, so I taught my kids that. Positive Pusher says, I was raised under that type of parents who it doesn't work. Ask me how I know. You might know the same way I know, but I don't know. Practice what you preach. Yes, that would be very right. Practice what you preach. Each one teach one. Absolutely. I thank God I was taught better. I thank God you was taught better too. Still on the phone. Still here, but on the phone. Thank you, Muffy's Way. I appreciate you. I appreciate y'all having these dialogues with me, period. It's stuff that I enjoy talking about, and it's good to not have to just talk to myself about it or make my husband listen to me. And then it's also good to hear and see others' perspectives. Like Nail Court isn't in here on this live, but I pray she catches the replay because I think this would have certainly blessed her, because there's no such thing as a perfect parent. And guess what? Our kids, take this down, and some may argue different, but I'm willing to do a debate. The way our kids turn out is not a reflection of our parenting. You may be like, what? That don't make sense. What? there comes an age where they have to be responsible for their behavior. Yes, they can be raised in particular environments where they don't see things that are different. But it's up to there's something that we're all born with, that it's like a meter, if that makes sense, that makes us want something different. And that's why you can see people come here from third world countries and be successful, or you can see kids that I have a friend grew up in North Memphis, and so North Memphis is considered, poverty stricken or whatever. She's a doctor. I have a friend who grew up in South Memphis. She's a lawyer. You don't have to be the circumstances you're in. One of the best decisions we made was to move back into the neighborhood that my husband grew up in, predominantly Black. But I want these kids to be able to see something different. That wasn't the reason why we moved here. We moved here to be closer to mom, but also while we're here, let's let them see family. Let's let them, I go out to the bus stop. Good morning, y'all having a good day? When they outside cussing, who waking up cussing this early in the morning? Like, I want the kids to know that there's a lady at the end of the corner that cares. You get what I'm saying? And sometimes they need to see that. Because you don't have to be a victim of your circumstance. I hadn't shared everything I've gone through. I hadn't shared everything I've experienced in my life. I don't know that I will. I don't know that I won't. As situations arise and we talk about different things, I'm sure I'll open up about more things. But you don't have to be a victim of your circumstances. Like, don't let it fuel you. My grandmother would say, you can take shit and turn it into gold. And she never really gave me the process, but I guess maybe some gold is off in it. I don't know, but make the best of what you got. You don't have to, even have a niece right now. I'm so proud of her. Like, she graduated school. She had her baby before she graduated, but she graduated college. I have a cousin that is my sister cousin soror. She got a doctorate, and there were so many things that society would say was stacked against her. But you have to have that inner drive, that character that has resilience, persistence, determination to get her done. And this comes from a person that hadn't even finished school yet, but yeah, get her done. I love your character and power. Thank you. I try not to. Power of choice. Yeah. Each person has power to choose the way they want to chart their life. Yeah. Your trash is someone else's treasure. Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's like what I tell all kids. Last story I'll share about character, and then I'm kind of gone. So there's this young man, won't say a name, love him. Joy says, use your lemons to make lemonade, your stumbling blocks to make stepping stone. So for that one, I used to say, when life throws you lemons, make lemonade, but I've changed that and said, when life throws you lemons, throw them back. Like, I don't want lemonade unless it's coming with vodka. I don't want it. Take nothing and turn it into something. Absolutely. So character, I'm going to end on this. So there's this kid. When I first met him, I felt like I knew him. I'm like, where do I know you from? I'm like, were your parents' name? Trying to figure it out. Just didn't know. He just was in my heart like a kid that I already knew. Okay. And so he and my son went through something tragic together. He asked, could he come over and spend the night? And I was like, sure. And so talked to his parents. It was fine. And so the kids started coming to my home, and that made me happy because again, they ain't in the street, right? And so one day, this is after several times being in my home. One day, I see a picture of him on social media, and I was like, "Oh hell no!" So I called him downstairs. I was like, "I need all y'all." It was 4 boys, 5 boys. 2 of them were mine. Well, yeah, 2 were mine. Um, I talked. I said, "Come here, come look close. I need to talk to you." And my attitude never changed. What you see now? I said, "Are you in a gang?" He said, "Yes, ma'am." I said, "How long?" He said, "8th grade." I said, "Why?" I had to make a choice. I said, "So what are you doing now?" Um, just going to school and trying to graduate so I can go to college. I said, "But these are new, fresh pictures. These aren't eighth grade pictures." He was like, "Well, when," and this is the kid talking to me. He was like, "When you live where you live, you got to make a choice and you got to do what you do." I said, "So how do you stay out of trouble?" He said, "I go to work, go to school, then I go home." And so the picture that I saw was a video of him in the barber shop and doing whatever little signs they do or whatever. And so then I went and asked my son's right in front. I'm like, "So you in a game?" He was like, "No, ma." Asked his other friends, "No, not me." Um, and so I asked him, I said, "So how do you feel about this?" I said, "Because here's the thing. I could take just this video that I saw and said, you know what, you can't come over here anymore because I don't want that type of energy in my home. I don't want that type of um, activity coming towards my home. But I'm not going to do that to you because I love you and I know who you are. And I know that you're bright and I know that your future is bright. And I know that you can be something great. Like you're raised, your parents love you, your dad is in your life. Like you can beat this, you can be better than this." And he was like, "Yes, ma'am, I know I can." I said, "So what am I supposed to do? Do I sleep comfortably here tonight knowing what I know now?" And he was like, "Yes, ma'am." I said, "How would you feel if I said, 'Well, no, you have to go home?'" He said, "Well, I would feel like you're judging me because it's not really me. It's just I had to do um what I had to do, basically." And again, I said, "I'm not gonna send you home. And I do love you, but we gotta fix this." And he said, "My way of fixing this is graduating and then getting out of the neighborhood." And so I said, "Okay, all I have to go on is his word." And I told him, I said, "But you do know that now I can't trust my son in a car with you." And he was like, "Yes, ma'am." I said, "Because somebody could be upset with you, and then my son could be a casualty of something going on with you." And he was like, "I understand." And my son was a little upset. We talked about it later, and he was like, "Mom, you taking it too far." No, I'm not. It's about your life. And again, the choices that you make. And I don't understand being in the 8th grade and having to make a choice about what I'm going to do. But what I do know is that that's not his character. It doesn't speak for him. He's respectful. He's um, lovable. He's a hard worker. He wants better. And so his character actually preceded him. It wasn't until after I got to know him and love him that I ended up finding that picture on social media. And so there was no way I was going to put him out my house because I love him and I want what's best for him. And so that is, I would leave character on that note. It's so easy to judge and not know everything that someone has gone through. it's so easy to talk about people and not know that sometimes all they've seen is the neighborhood that they're currently in and have never been beyond those walls. And so character is power. The character can be taught at home. It's something that we can pass on. And knowing who you are stops you from kind of making decisions like he did. And so I just keep remember, and he's always welcome here. And my son knows the business. And that's the way I'm gonna choose to love him out of this, if that makes sense. Will it work? I don't know. We'll see, right? But hopefully he sees how my husband and I live in what we say, and we show him we care about him. We call him, we check on him. If we ain't heard from him, where you at, where you been, what you been up to, don't lie to me. And I don't know why, it's like I have a lie meter. I know when somebody is lying to me. I don't know, I guess because I've been lied to so much. I don't know, but I know when somebody lying. So I said I would say this. Character is important. It's definitely power. It's your power. Hold on to your power. Take a moment, sit with yourself. There's some negative things that we all want to address with us. Talk about them. Find out where they stem from. Because going back to the origin is what's important. Because you get to tell that time in your life, that's not who I am. That's not who I was. You projected that on me, and that's not what I'm gonna be. Yeah. Another example, I can give it to you, and you guys can go watch it. I don't know if you watched the I always miss the name. Somebody call her Yaya. Who call her Yaya? I don't know. But the Iyanla Vanzant episode of Lisa Ray, her mother, and her daughter, and then her daughter has a daughter. So it's like that's 4 generations. But what I saw was 3 women who were having a hard time communicating with each other, but all 3 of them are just like each other. And so, yeah, make sure we're passing down the good things and not the bad things to our kids. And when you know that something you did was wrong, it's okay to go back and say, I'm sorry. I think I shared with you guys that Dre and I lived together. And this goes with character. Dre and I lived together before we got married. And my divorce wasn't final. Because my first husband would not sign the divorce papers. I literally had to go to court, have witnesses to get out of a divorce. But keep in mind, I was living with Dre along with my 2 children. And it got to a place that I couldn't rest anymore because we weren't married. And here I'm teaching my daughter. Back up. The whole reason why I left the first marriage was because I didn't feel that, well, that's a whole nother story. But in my mind, it was the best thing for my daughter. Moving in with a man, and don't get me wrong, my husband and I dated 18 months before he ever met my kids. So that was no, what do you call it? He wasn't a stranger to them. But us moving in together, it just made sense because he spent most of the time in my house, and that's when he was in the city because he traveled. The thing that I didn't take into account was I still had a daughter, and I really shouldn't have moved him in with my daughter, and we weren't married. Like, that's not what I wanted to teach her. So when I decided to move out, because it had gotten bad, I couldn't sleep. And I'm telling you, we were living good. 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath, pool in the backyard, beautiful home. He was not a rebound. No, he wasn't. He was not a rebound at all. Far from it. Praise God, he was far from it. And so we moved into separate homes. And the reason why is because I was like, I shouldn't have done this. And I have a daughter. I want to teach her. Yeah, now I'm about to cry because I ain't even realized this just now. I want to teach her what's right. In just by my moral compass of what's right in valuing yourself. And my husband couldn't understand it at the time. He was like, what is it? I treat you like a queen. You have everything. And before I knew it, so I know it had to be the Lord. I was like, I'm not a queen. I'm a concubine. The queen is married to the king. We weren't married. And so he understood that, and he wasn't ready to be married. I wasn't either, so I thought. And truthfully, I think in both our minds, by the end of the year, we were going to be going separate ways because I had already made my mind that whatever God had for me was for me. And so I met a lady, and I told her about, she was renting a home, 3-bedroom, 1.5 bath, 1 bath. And I just told her, I said, my credit is not good. I've gotten out of a divorce. And I'm living with my boyfriend, but I want to teach my daughter how to right a wrong. And that's what I said, how to right a wrong. And because me living with him and having her there isn't okay. And for me, it's not okay. I'm not saying that it's wrong for anybody else. I'm saying for me, it wasn't okay. That's just like, I tell you guys that I am pro-life. However, I don't judge a woman for being pro-choice. I'm that pro-life woman that will go with a pro-choice woman with no judgment in my heart and hold her hand because it's her choice. God doesn't force me to love him, and I don't believe the law should force people to do things with their body. So that's it. So that's just for me. So the lady ended up letting me rent out the home and everything. And so when we finally moved to the home, I told my daughter that I did that for her, that I apologized for moving her into a home with a man that wasn't her father and that wasn't my husband. And then later we got married. However, what I did show my daughter was you can right a wrong. Just because you made a wrong turn, I'm not going to even say a mistake, a wrong turn, or you got off course, doesn't mean you can't get back on course. And sometimes we need to apologize to our children just so they can understand, one, we're not perfect, and two, it is okay to realize when you've done something wrong and correct it. So my daughter got married in October. Her and her husband bought a home. But guess what? She didn't live in that house with him. They didn't move in together until the night they got married. Neither one of them stayed in the house before that. And that just hit me in this conversation. And so our kids watch us. They watch what we say. I mean, what we do. They hear us, but it's what we do that leave the most lasting impact on them. And so, yeah. So again, character is power, and it kind of goes into your legacy. And so think about your grandkids and your great grandkids when you make some of the decisions you make. And especially if you're a YouTube content creator, because guess what? This stuff never goes anywhere, goes anywhere, goes anywhere. This stuff never goes anywhere. It's always going to be online. How do you want your grandkids to see you? Joy says, very wise move. Joy, it was a very wise move. Honey, that testimony within itself, I only paid rent for 1 month. After that, the lady had to file bankruptcy. She was like, my attorney said, you'll have 3 months. I'm not going to take your rent, save it up. My husband and I got married. We stayed in the house for an entire year. And we didn't have to pay anything but a light bill. And so that was God showing me that I had done the right thing. Thank you, Nisi Poo. So yeah, I got y'all a couple character examples, okay? That's all I got for y'all. I thank y'all for teaching me as well and dropping jewels from me. Muffy's Way, thank you for being so vocal. Yeah, self-reflection is necessary. And remember, let me put that back up real quick. This is the challenge. For every negative thought we have towards ourselves, write it down. We need to write it down. Determine the origin. Where did it come from? And replace it with a positive thought. Write the positive thought throughout your house, whatever it is. Yeah. And that's all I got for this Wisdom Wednesday. I won't tell you in advance what tomorrow will be about because I don't know. I don't think I'm coming back today though. I know I'm not because we date on Wednesday. I know I'm not because it's date nights. Hey. So yeah. I think I've said everything that I need to say. Got a comment here. Aw. Your daughter will love and respect you for life. I pray so. I love her. And I'm so proud of her. When I say godly proud, it's nothing that I did. That's why I always say I'm not just old, but that is the Lord's blessing. Like that just sticks with me. That we now enjoy. My granddaddy used to go through the house singing those songs too, those hymns. But now I get it. It's the Lord's blessing that I now enjoy. I get to see her, be her. And I love every moment of it. Yeah. And as long as she give me two years, I cannot wait to be a grandma. Oh my God. Yeah. My husband said he has to be 50 before grandkids. But if they come before then, I'm still gonna be just as like, yeah. Joy said my daughter's son told her he appreciates her decision not to move in a man when she and his dad broke up. He's 27. Wow. Yeah. And I didn't, in all honesty, I didn't think like, because again, it happened with me. So I didn't think anything about it until I went back to that place in life for me. And I just remember how it made me feel. And I didn't want her to feel that way. And I also feel like she deserves the absolute best. And so, yeah, I always wanted her to shoot for the absolute best. But I love how she takes credit for it. Like, she's like, it's all her. I'd be like, girl, yes, you raised yourself, child. Go ahead. To God be the glory. But if there's nothing else, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me on Wisdom Wednesday. I possibly will be back tomorrow. I don't know what. Well, yeah, we'll see how tomorrow go. Okay. Keep me in your prayers as this will mark the 3-year anniversary of my mom's transitioning. I see my younger brother is already kind of having a hard time. I saw his Facebook post and he posts pictures of him and her. So I know he misses her. We all do. My brother that lives with me has been cutting up this week. My daughter's aide, thankfully, we have a home health aide that stays overnight on Tuesday nights and Wednesday nights so I can sleep. Otherwise, I wouldn't sleep. And she said my brother walked all night and he's been cutting up like since December came in play. And I have to wonder, though he's nonverbal and cerebral palsy and autism and intellectual disability and all this other stuff, I think he knows. There's I think he knows. Like I have the pictures of mom in his room, and I picked it up and I said, "Who is this?" And he said, "Helen Hardaway." He didn't say mama. I was like, me and A both looked at each other like, "What?" Like Helen Hardaway, and I was like, "Yeah," because usually all I get from him is a shit and a damn. It's always a pleasure to be with you, Joy. I promise you, because you always make me want to sing Joy. That's a happy song. Joy. Joy, joy, joy. I think that's John P. Key. I'd love for you to join me for my discussion tomorrow. I think you will definitely add value if you're available. Okay, positive. Anything for you. Anything. 8:30. Joy. Oh, joy, joy. Well, positive, you can call me. But yeah, you got it. Anything. Okay. Anything for you. So thank you all for coming in. Thank you to those who were new. Thank you to those who hang out in the skybox. Thank you to those who have supported me along this journey. Tomorrow also will make 7 months as a YouTube content creator. Didn't think I'd be here, y'all. Really didn't. This was never in my life plan of things to do, if that makes sense. Writing a book, yes. Several books, yes. Being on TV as an acting, yes. When I was younger, I wanted to be an actor. An actress. Singing, yes. When I was younger, I wanted to be a singer. But a YouTube content creator. And what's funny is when my son was like 11 and I asked him what did he want to do, he said he wanted to be a YouTube content creator. And I was like, do they make money? And so now it's like, I probably should listen to him. He'd probably be rich by now. But anywho, so yes to positive. Thank you, Cindy. I love you. Praying for you, hon. Know that God is with you. Know that your mom is still with you too. I don't think, and I can't prove it biblically, but I don't think that, for some reason, I still think that somehow they're still connected to us. And I say that because my mom, like something can be going on with Ivy and I won't even think about it. And something just tells me to get up and go check this is this. And I'll go check. And it's weird to me because it just came out of nowhere. So I think they stick around and help us out. I do. And so we shall see tomorrow. Praying that the weather is good tomorrow so I can take my brother to the cemetery and we can go do some flowers, which I don't typically do that because I believe that to be absent from the body is to be present with the Lord. But because I have my brother, I make sure that he gets to do that. So yeah, there's nothing else. I love you guys. I am sending lots of, a minute and a half. I can get a full hour and a half. I'm gonna get this hour and a half. Thank you for your prayers and thank you for your congratulations. 7 months. I will say one thing, and I think we may do it Friday, and so I'll probably try to schedule it early enough to get people to come over. But I want to know some of the things that you guys would like to see in the new year. Like I know what I'm going to do in the new year, but for the channel, but you have a great day too. But I want to know what are some of the things that you guys would like to see. Like I would love for us to start playing some games. Have to make sure that it's within YouTube guidelines. We are going to start back supporting one small business a week and having a drawing at the end of the week for someone to win something from that particular business like we did in the beginning. No money required. Yeah, I do it all. And yeah, because I like talking to y'all. And If I can just make a difference in one person's life, then my job is done. So you would like to go on nature walks with me, Cindy? That probably would help me mentally. Write that down. And I could do that in the city too, because like walking in Memphis, there's nothing like it. Like, I love Memphis. People can talk about it all day long. But baby, I am Memphis, Tennessee, born and bred. It's in my veins. Yeah, I put on for my city. Exploring. Okay. And that's something I can do. Man, that's something I can do, especially with vlogging, because we got like Slave Haven, where there was like, it was part of the Underground Railroad. Of course, it was Presley 43. I've never been there. My husband's gone on a field trip with one of our kids. She said bingo is popular too. But can you play bingo on YouTube without them striking your channel? I know I would love to play Family Feud, especially because with StreamYard you can have 10 people, so you really can have 4 on each side, because I got to be on there too. But yeah, so that's something we can talk about more, because I want us to have fun. Like, I don't want everything to be serious all the time. Cool. I don't know if Angel is in here. Angel, if you're still in here, please reach out to me on IG. You can get struck for playing games. I've heard people say that, and so that's what I don't know. Wheel of Fortune. Yeah, those are all my games there, girl. Sure. Those are all my games. Wheel of Fortune. So I think you'll be fine, because I said it out loud. I will research it for you, because I know you're at work, and I'll text you the answer, so we'll know for sure. Tonight is Wednesday. You're going on tonight too? Just for trivia night? I love Price is Right. I watched it with my grandma. I want to do some reviews, like on some of the comedy from the beef sector, but I don't want to offend anyone, if that makes sense. But some of the jokes, oh my God, have me crying. And then I do want to talk about like some different cases, like the Sophie Long case that's going on right now. I want to talk about it, because I hear it talked about quite a bit in I hadn't heard it talk. How can I say this? I want to talk about it simply because it's a custody issue. But not only is it a custody issue, it's a sexual assault accusation from a 9-year-old girl. And there are so many pieces to it that I want to talk about it. I have a new Coca conversation and more segment for the holidays. We're playing holiday games, talking about tradition and talk. Cool. And that's tonight. Okay, I'll go over and check that out. Okay, yeah, I'm really finna go now for it. Guess that song. Now, I think that one will probably get me Well, not necessarily, because you can play a small amount. Cindy, girl, you're cutting up. Okay, I'm finna go for real now. So I am sending lots of love, joy, peace, blessings your way. Remember, you are responsible for your own happiness, as well as the challenge is for every negative thought that we have towards ourselves, we are going to write it down, determine the origin, and replace it with a positive thought. And then we're going to write that positive thought throughout our homes. Until next time, I love you guys. Bye. Peace. Please hit the thumbs up on your way out if you have not already. YouTube